Iran State TV says no sign of life at helicopter crash site. That's May 19th. And then eventually they announced that he died at the age of 63. This is a Bloomberg story, page 6, if you want to go to it. So, Ebrahim Raisi, Iranian president, confronting West, dies at 63. The ultra-conservative cleric whose tenure as Iran's president was marked by a mass uprising and increasingly hawkish stance towards the West, he dies after a helicopter crash at 63 years old. The president's helicopter went down Sunday in northwest of the country. State media said his death, along with Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian, who was traveling with him, was confirmed Monday by semi-official Mehr news agency. Though Raisi had little influence on Iran's most important institutions, such as the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, he was widely seen in Iran as a favorite to eventually succeed Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei's position, who is in his mid-80s. His death removes the only serious rival to Khamenei's son, Mojtaba, to take the top job. So this story comes out. We hear about it at, around noon Eastern Standard Time. They don't tell us he's dead till about 8 o'clock. There's a bunch of different videos that are circulating. This is his body. This is the helicopter. This is this is the dad. The helicopter was old. All these other things that we're hearing about. Tom, what was your initial reaction when you heard the story about Raisi dying with a helicopter crash?
When I heard he officially dead, or when I heard about the crash?
Give me any thoughts you have on it.
So when I first heard about the crash, and I'm looking at the tweets that came in, and I was skipping the ones that were sensational. I was trying to go the ones that had been reporters and news agencies. It didn't look good. And then my first thought was, hey, they're not making any announcements, and you want to make your people feel good. And if he's okay, it'd be like, hey, we're on radio to them. He's okay, but we got to get up there to rescue these guys. But none of that came out. And then they got that they've reached the crash site, that the Turkish drone gave them an exact point, but unfortunately they were giving them a heat signature indicating maybe something has crashed and burned. Then I'm thinking, okay, this is not good. And then in the midst of all that, this crazy tweet comes from Israel that says, hey, it wasn't us, which immediately caused me to be skeptical, because why would one of the official sources from Israel suddenly run to the microphone and say it's not us, when all we have is news we didn't have an official death yet, Pat. We just had official accounts that were getting worse and worse. Hey, it's really rugged up here. It's cold. There's a little bit of a blizzard coming in. There's all these things going on, and there's no sign of life. And it's like, okay, it doesn't look like these people made it on that one helicopter. And it looks like the foreign minister and the president, have lost their lives in this. But I thought it was pretty freaking weird as that unfolded to see that Israel tweet, hey, wait, not us.
Yeah, and by the way, while you're saying that, I got another story. I have a lot of reaction to this, and I'll get to that here in a minute. I just want to get your commentary. Here's some Times of Israel. We won't shed a tear. Israel's MKs react coldly to Raisi's death as government mom. As news broke of the death of Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, Israeli politicians reacted with indifference, while an unnamed official told the media Jerusalem was not involved in the helicopter crash that killed him. It wasn't us, the Israeli official says, who requested anonymity, told Reuters. However, MK Avigdor Lieberman, chair of the opposition Israeli Betin party, said Israel did not expect Raisi's death to make any difference to Iran's policies in the region. For us, it doesn't matter. It won't affect Israel's attitude to Iran. Iran's policies are set by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he said. However, there was no doubt that the president was a brutal man. We won't shed a tear. This is Israel saying this. Adam.
Well, I'm not so much focused on what happened with this helicopter. The facts will come out. I'm the type of person that's likely to believe that it was actually a malfunction with the helicopter. Apparently, fog, gray day, bad weather, storms. We've seen what happened with helicopter. I mean, God forbid we look into what happened with Kobe. There's malfunctions. Apparently, they're blaming Americans because of the sanctions. They weren't able to get the right parts, whatever the excuse is. They're never going to be like, yeah, it was our bad guys. Our guys suck. They're never going to say that. Now, would Israel do something like this? The Mossad do something like this? You better believe it. I just don't think that they can get to a guy like this, because if they could, they would have done this to the supreme leader a decade ago or 20 years ago, because we all know what Iran stands for. Not only do they suppress their own people, or not only are they a thug-like terrorist regime, the Islamic Republic of Iran, but they chant death to Israel. They chant death to America. They have a doomsday clock that is basically counting down the death of Israel. So we talk about whoever in Israel said that they were indifferent to it. I can guarantee you if Bibi Netanyahu died,
Rob,
or
what are you showing right now?
This is
video?
the crash site.
Okay, keep going.
Or if the leader of Israel died, there would not be indifference in the Islamic Republic in Iran. There'd be chants, there'd be cheers, and there'd be parading for the death of a enemy. So Israel being indifferent does not make news to me. But I will say this. Let's look at the tenure of this President Raisi. I think he came in 2020, 2021, right at the beginning of COVID. We know that the number one person in the country of Iran, and PBD, you can explain this way better than me, the number one, and isn't even close, is the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Right? How do you say it? Khamenei? Khamenei. And I get it confused.
Khomeini or Khamenei?
Exactly. I don't know. You tell me the
Which
same
one,
name.
from my time or this
No.
time?
Right now it's
Khamenei.
And then who's the one before?
That died?
Yes.
Khomeini.
Just sounds very similar.
Spit on the mic, Adam.
Yeah. Khamenei. The supreme leader has all the power. But just you, Pat, I got to give you credit. You pointed out the misery index in Iran. This beautiful people, this beautiful person culture are suppressed and basically held hostage to this thug-like regime. The misery index, I think, is top 10 in the world, top 20 for sure in terms of misery. The misery index is what? Unemployment and inflation. Unemployment in Iran is up to about 10%, 9.5%, 10%. Inflation is, well, I think 40%. So this has all happened under this president's great tenure. This is the misery index right here we're showing you. So the misery index, I believe, is 73 right now. It was 39 6 years ago before Trump left office, and he basically exited the nuclear deal. But this guy has done nothing for the country of Iran. Last point, I remember his first year there, 2021, 2022, there were the protests for the death of the girl Mahsa Amini. Do you remember that one?
Yes. Her hijab was crooked.
So here's a message to all the leftist, Marxist, communists out there on campus protesting anti-Israel, pro-terrorist. They started killing hundreds, if not thousands, of protesters, the morality police, because women weren't wearing the headdress, the hijab. So this is who you're rooting for, that if you can't go out and protest, and if you're not wearing what they want you to wear, they will kill you. Didn't they just kill someone last week who just spoke?
Death penalty. They gave him a death
penalty to who?
A rapper?
There was a rapper who spoke out. So just think about what's going on here in Iran and who this regime is.
Here's a couple things to be thinking about that's going on here, which is kind of weird. So speculation. All right, so this guy died at 63. He was supposed to be the next supreme leader of Iran, replacing Khamenei. The competition for his job was Khamenei's son. So there is a camp in Iran that says this was an inside job, that Khamenei, his community, took out Raisi because Khamenei wants to keep it in the family to have his son become the supreme leader instead of Raisi. Now, that's pure. I think this event happened at Tabriz. If you can look it up, type in Raisi and Tabriz. Tabriz is like the Tabriz.
That's near Azerbaijan. It was on the border of Iran and Azerbaijan.
So if you can look at the location of it, where it is, does it say Tabriz or no? I don't know if you see it or not. Anyways, yeah, there it is. So thousands mourn Iran's Raisi and Tabriz procession after the helicopter crash. So, so part of it is that. It's easy to blame Israel. They're blaming U.S. to say if U.S. wouldn't have put the sanctions on us, we would have had better equipment where the helicopter wouldn't have crashed because this was an older helicopter, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, great. There's a part of the community that also, if you go back and type in Rafsanjani, type in how did Rafsanjani die? It's a very easy last name, Raf. How did Rafsanjani die? Rafsanjani died. You can look up, how did Rafsanjani die? There it is, zoom in. Okay, so Rafsanjani died in 2017 following a heart attack in a hospital in Tehran at the age of 82. Although government officials attributed his death to cardiac arrest, his sudden prompted speculation that he had been assassinated.
And who is this, PBD?
Rafsanjani was the former president, I believe, of
the Islamic Republic of
Iran. He was the former supreme leader. Was he the former president or supreme leader?
No, there's only been two supreme leaders.
He's a former president of Iran. Okay, so Khomeini and Khamenei, this is the former president of Iran, Rafsanjani. Now, Rafsanjani dies. His family's like, wait a minute, we're a little bit uncomfortable with the way this guy died. Some of them are saying he was murdered. There's a lot of different stories, by the way. Lots of investigation into this. And anyways, Iran's going through the issues with their political power on who's going to take over. Now, the other part to be thinking about with this is a little bit technical. People are saying, oh, you know, Iran's about to go through the revolution because people are celebrating in Iran. Fireworks. Yeah. You know what his nickname is, right? Who wrote it? The Butcher. Can you go to Raisi?
Butcher of Iran.
Type in Raisi and just put Butcher. Rob, you're just improving in your typing. Raisi. No, Raisi. R-A-I-S-I. B-U-T-C-H-E-R. If you can just put that in there.
Listen, I got to give Rob credit. He's great at a lot of things, spelling it in his bag.
Go to the New York Post story.
Butcher of Tehran.
Go to the, right there on the bottom left. Go to the New York Post story.
Didn't Wikipedia say Butcher of 88?
There you go. The Butcher of Tehran, Ibrahim Raisi, is dead. Good, but it won't change anything. This is the story. Now, why are they calling him the Butcher of Tehran? Go to Raisi execution political prisoners 1988, I believe. Go to Raisi execution political prisoners 1988, okay? So zoom in if you can find this right there. 1988, zoom in a little bit, in political prisoners. And this is when a series of mass execution of political prisoners ordered by Ayatollah Khomeini, this is when I was still in Iran, and carried out by Iranian officials took place in Iran starting on 19th of July, 1980, continuing for approximately 5 months. The killing took place in at least 32 cities across the country, and estimates of the number range between 2,500 to 30,000 people, many of whom were also subject to torture. Allegedly, the majority of those who were killed were supporters of the People MEK party, but supporters of other leftist factions, including Fadian, Today Party, which the Today Party is the communistic party. So they're saying the guy who led this, if you look at the picture to the right, look at the picture. Who is that? There you go with Raisi. He was the leader of this mass execution that took place in 1988. So there's a lot of people celebrating right now. There was fireworks. There was all of that. Now, they're saying there's people also praying. Of course, anybody that's part of his crew, they're not going to be happy that this guy died, right? In regards to how this changes things with Iran potentially having a revolution and it being free again and all that other stuff, the chances of that happening is less than 1%. This is the celebration in Iran after he died, okay? This is the celebration after he died.
What's going to happen to those people?
There's going to be exactly that thing going back at them, right? The fireworks for them if they find out who it is. But the chances of, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Get the audio, Rob. You're writing the audio.
This is where?
In Iran?
There's no chance.
So it's Canada? Oh, I see Canada.
All over the world, Iranians are celebrating that this took place. Now, keep this in mind. The chances of anything happening to Iran with revolution, less than 1%.
Yeah.
Why? Because for there to be that happening, they're going to need the support of U.S., and they don't have the support of U.S., period. U.S. is not supporting any kind of change in Iran right now. They need somebody strong in U.S. that's going to be willing to impose certain level of challenges and, you know, calling them out and doing all that stuff. Biden's playing diplomatic right now, trying to win the free Palestine folks and still win the Jews. And the more he does that, the more he loses the Gen Z. Right now, he's lost 81% of them. So it's unfortunate what's going on. Iranians there's a lot of power play stuff that's going on behind closed doors, but we'll have to be patient to see what happens next with these guys.
I have a question for you, PBD. As a natural-born citizen of Iran, I mean, I don't know the status now, but if there were to be an actual fair election today in Iran, not, you know, run by this thug-like theocratic regime, the Islamic Republic, if there was an actual election and the people actually had a chance to vote for their elected leader that they wanted, what do you think those results would look like if the people actually had a real voice?
You mean like if there's no messing around?
No messing around, no meddling.
Like America, like they don't mess around.
Just like America, you got to believe the results.
Yeah, so if there's none, you're saying who they would elect?
Who would they elect?
There's a lot of weird candidates that are.
I don't necessarily need a name.
Yeah.
I just want to know the type of person and the type of government, and would the supreme leader still be there?
Brother, they want to be free. Iranians want to be free. They don't like what we do in U.S. We're a little bit too tolerant for them. And part of it's like when they say super conservative, like girls doing certain things that they do in the States, you know, the girls just want to be able to show their hair.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they're asking for major things there. But
they want to be able to drive.
They want
to be able to vote. They want to be able to cross the street without a face mask.
Yeah, they want to be free is what they want to be. A lot of them would vote for a different kind of a structure in Iran, but it will not happen while Khamenei and these guys have control over it. It just won't happen.
What do you think? Because it's not 100-0. It's not, 50-50. What do you think the results would actually look like? Like when you were interviewed the Crown Prince.
There will never be a fair election.
No, I'm saying if, in a hypothetical world, would it be 80-20?
80-20.
Okay,
Yeah.
80-20 want to be, and then so there's 20% that want to basically keep it with the theocratic regime.
Do you know what the Khamenei's estimated net worth is? The family's net worth?
I'm going to guess
can you pull this up?
$200 billion.
Type in Khamenei net worth. By the time we're done with this podcast, Rob's going to be speaking Farsi.
Rob's like,
Mohammad Reza Pahlavi.
Okay, go to the second one. Go to the second one, Rob. No, the second article. Go to the second one right there. Okay.
I'm guessing the top 10 richest guy in the world. Yeah, boom.
Khamenei's wealth worth $200 billion. Yeah,
it's basically like he started
exactly
Tesla
and Tesla.
Exactly.
And all these
there
guys.
he is.
This guy's one of the most revolutionary entrepreneurs worldwide.
By the way, where should that wealth actually be?
Not in his hands.
In the people's pockets.
Not just the pockets, but the better roads, better opportunities, better, industries growing. The economy being in a better place, opportunities for more people. But no, these guys got the money. And by the way, if you're a government official worth $200 billion, you're a criminal. Just so you know that.
Like, what's her face? Nancy Pelosi.
No, see, this is where you make a false equivalation. She's 100 million. This is 200 billion. This is Vladimir Putin, my friend. This makes him the richest man in the world.
I understand that.
So let's understand numbers here, Vin.
I know. I understand.
200 billion is a lot more than 100 million.
But does anybody for our government should be even worth $5 million? Like,
well, Rick Scott, who's our senator here in Florida, is the richest guy in Congress. Also, the guy from California. Is worth a couple $100 million. The Republican guy.
Let's go to the next one.
There's fraud involved.
Let's tell you guys what's going on with Minnect. For those of you guys that are competing to be at the dinner with us at Casa D'Angelo, which I was the other night, and then have cigars with us afterwards, conversation, having all the Minnectors come together. Here's what the race is looking like. Rob, can you zoom in a little bit for the lightweight? Really, Davis took over the lead, 198. These are people that at the beginning of the contest that started April 16th had never been on the app. They just downloaded it. They just started getting Minnect of them answering questions. These are 198 completed answers to questions. Davis is number one. Then it's Santino. Then it's Puva. But by the way, we're going to go to the website because there's a lot of competition behind him. Middleweight, Fernando's got the lead with 105. Then it's Michael, then Parsa. And then heavyweight, not even close. Dustin is ahead, 286. Calvin Doctor, 156. Comotor plays 120. Look at home team and just dominating.
Vinny, what are you doing out there?
I love you.
Crushing.
502, then Tom, then Adam. And then new users asking questions. Tyler Huff, good for you for asking 185 questions. Goran Surbeski, 123. Eddie, 121. Dustin, existing. Holy moly, look at that, 895.
Here's my guy.
Sir John ICU, 771. Ozzy Gomez, 276. Here's what you have to realize. These are all the QR codes for us. However, this is the most important data I'll tell you. My entire life story was from being one contact away from my life changing. I'm one contact away from life changing, whether it's business, health, marriage, relationship, finance, it doesn't matter. On email, if you send a cold email to somebody, the response rate is less than 1%. Instagram DM, it's less than 3%. Twitter is 5%. LinkedIn is 8 to 12%. I got the report yesterday. Tom, did you see the report on what percentage of people on Minnect respond? Do you know what percentage of experts answer questions on Minnect?
Can I guess?
Write it down on a piece of paper, and then, Tom, tell us what it is.
Okay, I can't enter a contest to guess because I know what the number is.
But just say it. What's the number?
94%.
I put 94.
94% of people answer Minnect.
Correct.
So, and a lot of people answer within 24 hours. I answer within 24 hours, and mine are audio, so are Vinny's or Tom. Adam, we'll get back to you, but it's.
I will.
But he's on a boat. He's in Miami.
But here's
Guys,
the
you
point.
got to give him some credit.
Guy wants to talk about politics. You don't like what Cuomo said? Minnect him. You want to talk to Candace? Minnect her.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.